Welcome into episode 3 of the Tony's Talks podcast. This is episode 3. Today we're joined by someone who has yet to be with us on the podcast. That is my lovely girlfriend Jenna right here on the end of the couch. Obviously Uncle, as always, and John. Logan is behind the scenes. We may or may not hear from him this episode unless he just wants to yell things.
Yeah, he just came from his homecoming.
We don't need to...
Wait, you had a dance?
Yeah.
Yes, that was last night. Okay.
You dressed up in a shirt and tie?
It was virtual, right?
It was?
No.
I was like,
It was actually just like a silent disco, and they were all in their own little room.
Funny classic.
Wait, can I have the mic? Have you ever heard of a silent disco? Where you like, there's no music playing, you just put your own headphones on. So like when you're walking around and then you take the headphones off, it's like completely silent, but everybody's just like, it was in an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Underrated.
It was in an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think it's nice.
So
Sounds cool.
Yeah, we should do one sometime.
If he's going to say something.
That would be a fun
Sorry, you need to
freaking
take the
episode.
mic.
Oh, no, I don't want
If you want to say something, that mic better be in front of you. So my first question for Uncle today, something that just came to my mind. What would you do, Uncle, if you had $1 million?
What would I do? I would pay off my condo,
What would
and
you do with what?
if I won $1 million after taxes, that's $750,000 more or less. Pay off my condo, and help my nephews buy a house so they can move in with Jenna and somebody else.
And it would have an in-law in it, right? So like,
No, not me, because too much of a good thing is too much.
what? You're around enough anyway, so I mean, you might as well live with us.
I think once with Jenna involved, once a week is good enough. Okay,
Oh.
so much you can tolerate me.
No,
Just kidding, but that's what I would do. Yeah.
I'm not as bad as Jeremy's dad.
Oh.
Oh boy,
Wow.
he's one of a
You
kind.
just start a war you don't want.
Oh, I know what I would do.
What?
I would sell my condo and move in with my sister and my brother-in-law.
I don't think they would let that happen.
Would
but-
sell your condo if you got $1 million?
Yeah. Remodel your house and move in.
Interesting.
Okay. And
I have another question I think is kind of fun. This is totally in a different direction. But do you believe in ghosts? And if you do, have you ever had any kind of paranormal experience before?
I wouldn't say ghosts, but I believe in people that are deceased that try to talk to you by moving objects. Like today, I was thinking I was in a down spiral, and my mother Maria's Coke bottle behind me fell on the floor, and it wasn't windy. The door wasn't even open.
Are you
So-
talking about 30 seconds ago? Because John knocked that over.
Yeah, when I walked in, though, I was doing something, and it just fell. I mean, it could have been just a coincidence,
I mean,
but
there's also nothing in the bottle.
no. So it's lightweight.
So that's it. But
Really
you
ghosts
don't.
win from
There's no like clear experience in your past where you've had like some sort of. So you don't believe in ghosts. You believe in spirits of people that. So like friendly people, like ghosts, people that are.
Yes, not Casper the Friendly Ghost. That was way back.
But you're not like demons and stuff like that. No.
Demons, co-workers, yes. That demon, yes.
Okay. Well, fair enough. I guess I can ask this question. I don't know how to phrase this.
Take your time.
Which family member is nicest to you?
Nicest, and explain yourself. What's nice mean?
I don't know.
Like
What
fake
does nice
real
mean to you?
nice?
Boom.
Kind.
Can I have 30 seconds to think?
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Family as an immediate family or a distant family?
Yeah. No. Immediate. Well,
I mean, like
are
second
distant
cousin,
family
third
nicer to you
cousin.
than immediate family are?
No, I mean, since these podcasts and Tony's Talks videos have come out, I've spent more time in the past year and a half with my family than I have in 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great thing. I see Jenna more now than I saw all her 5 years or plus with my nephew, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a great thing. I always say to Jeremy, make sure you say hi to Jenna, because I suck at texting. So which family member I like, that's putting me in a spot.
I didn't say like. It's just nice.
No, there's no favorite. Nicest is everybody in a different way. John is telling the truth. Jeremy,
Cap. Oh.
Jeremy is just very mellow when he gets to the point, and Logan is like, he doesn't get mad when I say January 15th something good's gonna happen to Logan, right, Logan?
Yeah.
You don't get
I
mad.
have to give context for that joke.
No, I'm not gonna tell what's gonna happen on January 15th. I'm just saying.
Well, but now you're going to leave the viewers in the mystery.
You're gonna leave Jenna in a mystery.
Dude,
Well, we're gonna do a podcast with the before and after of Logan. So
Okay.
the after of
Just explain it.
on January 15th is 2 significant dates: Martin Luther King's birthday and my father's birthday. So Logan is gonna get a haircut on January 15th.
Oh my gosh.
Right,
This is
Logan?
where this all went for a school haircut?
No,
So-
it's a joke that he makes saying that I'm gonna get a. Saying that
You better come over here and take that mic from
Military
him.
haircut.
It's a running joke that he makes saying that on January 15th I'm going to get a buzz cut and cut all my hair off.
Oh, I don't think
And
that's happening.
donate it for people
it's-
that need it.
But it's not true.
Jenna, I was actually going to have you guys pass the mic around because I kind of want to get your own opinions on the paranormal question. Like, it doesn't just have to be Uncle. Do you have any experience with ghosts, Jenna, or do you believe in them?
I don't know. I've had like some sketchy things happen where like, you know, when you have like those coincidences that happen when like, I don't know, you think of something that's like so random and then
Mhm.
like something happens to you that has to do with that thing.
Oh, yeah, you've mentioned this before. That's kind
Yeah.
of a hard way of explaining it, but
Yeah, I don't really
yeah,
know the
it's
best
kinda
way
like
to
when
describe
you're
it.
Well, I guess a good example of this is I was telling you this the other day. I was listening to a hockey podcast as I was driving down the street, and there was a player, kind of infamous player in the league, whose name is Tony D'Angelo. And as I was driving down the street, I was literally like, I looked up and there's like D'Angelo's right in front of me. Just like weird things
Yes,
like that.
that's
that
no,
happen.
that's
But what you
exactly
mean.
yes. Or like a song is stuck in your head and suddenly like it's the next song that plays. Or like
Yeah.
you just randomly think of a song and then it's the next song that plays either on the radio or on your phone or something.
Right.
So just weird stuff like that. Like, but I've never had like objects like move in front of me. Like I don't really believe in that stuff.
You ever
But
go to a haunted like mansion.
yeah,
And
I don't.
They
really.
say that about Slater Mills in Rhode Island and Pawtucket.
I don't believe
that
in
it's
that.
haunted.
Yeah, I don't.
They did the
believe
whole
in
like
that.
Ghostbusters thing or like whatever Ghost Hunters thing there.
I mean, I'm not gonna volunteer to go there,
Yeah.
but I mean, like it would freak me out. I'm
Talking a
sure.
big game about
But
someone that doesn't
I
want to go to.
am perfectly happy having not had any sort of paranormal experience in my life.
How about you, John?
Yeah, give it to John.
Sorry.
Testing. Kidding. I don't know. Who am I to dismiss the paranormal just because like I haven't experienced anything paranormal? You know what I mean? I think it's kind of one of those things where it's like my lived experience is not necessarily representative of, you know, everyone, right? Whatever. I will say that I think Ghost Hunters is just, I want to talk about overrated,
They're based in
or
Rhode
just
Island,
like
too.
it's just
Or one of
such
them
a
is.
freaking lead on, string along kind of show, and I'm just not about it because it's like they make everything out to be like so like spooky, scary skeletons, and it's like they never actually find anything paranormal, and it's like, oh my god, wow, oh shoot, it's dark in here, oh wow, I heard a sound, just kidding, it's Becky with the frickin' boom mic like knocking into a wall, wow. So anyway, I don't know, I'm not gonna rant about, you know, Ghost Hunters, but I think that show is just
We used to
so
watch it a lot as
overgassed,
kids, but
and it's like they never get to the point. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
whatever.
I
It's
think Jenna
disappointing.
has another point on this.
Anyway, here you go, John.
I was just gonna say that I have seen, and again, very difficult to determine whether these videos are real or not, but like on the internet, like a viral video of a cabinet door, like in a kitchen, just opening and closing, and people claiming that like there was some paranormal stuff happening. It freaks me out. It wigs me out.
It's good
I'm not
for
gonna.
stories.
I don't know if it's real. I don't know if I believe it. And again, if you have had a paranormal experience, I'm not discounting that, but I have a rough time with believing in it.
Well, you don't like horror movies in general. Oh, and I guess this is a good topic of conversation, and we talked about this with Uncle before. Uncle can have some input on this first. The house that's The Conjuring is based off of, the movie.
Yes, it
which
was
is
just
in
put
Rhode
on the
Island.
market.
The Burville, Rhode Island, particularly. It's
Yes.
on the market, yeah, for like $1 million or something like that.
Million and a half
1.2.
almost, yes.
And
And it'll probably go for more.
have you seen the movie?
No, but I've heard of it.
The house is basically, and I guess it's like a historic thing. They're preserving it exactly how it has been. So it's basically like an old rundown house, like no real like good plumbing or anything like that. I think electricity's a little wonky. I did see one of the photos. They have like a whole inside virtual tour. It's worth checking out the listing actually.
Describe Burville, Rhode Island.
Burville is in the middle. Yeah.
Can I tell the truth and you edit it out?
Go ahead, Uncle.
Yeah, what would be
From what I hear, it's just not friendly for everybody.
I feel like it's true of most places.
It's very rural,
Yes.
so make of that what you will.
Yes.
And the house is in the
Hicksville?
middle of nowhere. It's in Harrisville, particularly, I think. So
My cousin actually used to live in Burrillville till she got divorced and moved to Connecticut.
yeah, we don't spend much time. We did talk about but we talked about Wright's Farm the other day, but that wasn't because of the Conjuring house.
That was somebody was going to eat there. You
yeah, I
guys
was
were going
going
to
there
have
to
dinner.
eat, right? But
We're
Anyway.
friends of yours. The day that Jenna went out with her friends.
yeah. Following a similar line of conversation, if there was a zombie apocalypse, Uncle, I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's October. I'm thinking this way. Would you survive a zombie apocalypse, Uncle? What would if you knew zombies were outbreaking and you were around, you say you were here at home, what would be the first thing you would do?
I would think back to 1969 in kindergarten and how I was tortured. And back then, there would be no zombies. So,
What?
does that make any
I'm
sense?
so confused.
I mean,
For a little more
can you explain that again? Go back.
How
to
would
it?
you survive if you knew zombies were coming for you? What would you do to try to stay alive?
I would turn myself into a zombie.
You would.
That's not surviving.
That kind of is the opposite of surviving.
Okay, but I would have a similar mindset to him. No, that's smart.
What?
Well,
What?
okay.
Okay,
Go
okay,
ahead,
okay,
I'll-
okay.
Explain.
Game of Thrones. When I was watching when the White Walkers were attacking, I was like, it must be so easy to be a White Walker. Like you have no stream of consciousness besides just like kill people. Like that's like your main goal. Like ignorance is bliss, you know?
That's not survival.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like
That's
I
succumbing.
guess. But then it's like, is survival even worth it if you're gonna have to like continuously fight against
What does that sound like?
I know what to
zombies?
The way to survive. Again, Jeremy, repeat the question.
If you were, what was the first thing you would do to try and survive in a zombie apocalypse? What
I would
you
do what zombies usually do: eat them before they eat us.
You're gonna eat zombies. That's your way of surviving this.
Well, at Night of the Living Dead, they were zombies
Yeah, the
that
thing is,
once you died, you become a zombie. Like
I
if
can't
you died of
imagine that
natural
eating
causes.
zombies is like gonna be good for your health.
No, but
Alright, well, is getting eaten by zombies good for
so, Uncle, the crux of the issue here is that the zombies are actively trying to kill you.
Okay.
So you can't just be like, hold on 1 minute, sir. I'm going to eat you before you attack and slaughter me and eat me. Like, that's not, like, yeah, okay, you could eat them, but why would you eat them if you could just kill them? You know what I mean?
what I would do. When I'm into the moment, sometimes I have this bad thing called gas, and that will,
Into what moment?
like when I eat junk food, I have a
When
lot
I'm
of,
really getting into something, I get gassy.
like say I eat 5 Whoppers in course of 2 days.
What are you gonna blow the zombies with your butt fumes?
My butt crack will kill the zombies.
Okay, this is getting
Crack
derailed
kills,
so
folks.
fast.
Logan, are you gonna do something, Logan? You want to come to the mic, Logan?
I have one piece of information to add here. I watch The Walking Dead like religiously.
I'm
Even
kind of an expert.
even some people say it's like a dead show now, but I've continued to watch it even past that.
Dead show.
Always has been.
Well, anyway, in the later seasons, there's this group of people they interact with that have come to like mask themselves as zombies. They're not
Oh, I saw
actually
that.
zombies,
And that
but they
freaked me
wear
out.
like masks that are like zombies. Supposed to be like dead people's faces, like skins and stuff. And they're like, and also the protagonists in the show, the group of people that you're rooting for, I guess. They also at times have used like zombie guts and stuff on their bodies to like mask their smell, so and then they start like kind of like walking as zombies to get through like big crowds of them. So that's like an interesting concept that might potentially work, but you kind of really have to be in the middle of the outbreak at that point. You can't just like right in the beginning. There's not any zombies already, so you can't really take that approach. But
Has Rick come back yet?
no, but I think this is the last season coming up, so I think Rick will be coming back. Just a little side note for anyone who does watch, and he did go away. But anyway, yeah. So not to get
That's a
too
great question, though. How would you survive zombies?
it's something to think about more than I probably should.
Oh, I know what I could do.
Oh, he's been waiting for this one.
Now I'm thinking, well, I am into religion, but I think I would go back to the Bible and try to see if there's some demonic
This is the revelation.
thing you can do,
Where's it
like
gone?
have an exorcism for zombies. Well, that's just my point of view. Now I'm going to pass it over to my nephew, John.
Do the monster mash. A subtle nod to Jenna over here about like, oh, if you can't beat them, join them. Like, well, I wouldn't be so bad to just be a zombie, but you can't like actually be a zombie because that means you have lost, right? So kind of, you know,
So it's cheating.
the Walking Dead approach where you like mask yourself as a zombie and you kind of hide in plain sight, you know what I mean? And you just like make like a zombie. And but yeah, at the very outset, I mean, you just got to be like guns blazing, like ready to just kill a MFer, like.
What's that movie with Woody Harrelson?
Oh, Zombieland?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just be able to like go like batshit, like gangbusters, like
That's a great movie, one of my
I've got
favorites.
coworkers that I could call zombies.
gotta keep that thing on you, as I say.
Just pray to God
Make
they
sure you're
take the
Put that
strapped.
mic in front of him if he's talking.
Trying to talk over me right now.
Well,
Do we have another question we're fielding?
I
Was
was
that a
gonna-
satisfactory
yeah, I was about to
answer?
pose another one if you wanted to give it to Uncle.
It's a tough question to answer. I mean,
Uncle, what would you say is your biggest fear?
Biggest fear.
You can go around the room too after this. and ask
Biggest
others.
fear, as in a fear, as in
Why are you
a
making this
scary
difficult?
fear, or just a fear of something that you'll never accomplish.
Take this wherever you want it to go.
Something you're afraid of?
Logan, you're doing a lot of background talking for
Well-
someone not having a mic right now.
Can I honestly say my biggest fear is, oh gosh, I can't believe I'm going to say this, growing old alone. Okay, that's my
Jeez,
biggest fear.
You got deep really fast with that.
Well, I mean, you can take that question in a lot of directions because I could sit here and be like, yes, snakes, hate them, hate them,
Logan, you gotta do this one, Logan.
hate
Come on,
snakes,
Logan.
hate snakes. But like, if I'm following in Uncle Tony's footsteps here, I'll get real deep here.
Okay.
The permanence of death scares the shit out of me. So scary. That it is
Understandable.
such an uncertain thing. But I won't get into that or else I won't sleep. So
yeah, greatest fear.
Trump.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think fear of death is a very real one, but I think that's kind of just inherent to like the human condition. I mean, there's certain people that will like tell you they don't fear death, but I feel like we all kind of do in some capacity. I think it also has a bit to do, without opening this whole can of worms, about like if you believe in it, like an afterlife, a life after this one on Earth, you know what I mean? I think people, their perception of death is kind of, you know, they look at it through that lens, or like, well, all life is just here on Earth. This is what we're doing. Not, again, gonna open that can of worms. I don't know. I think you were kind of alluding to this, Uncle. I think there's also this fear of like, when you say not accomplishing anything, I mean, that's very like open-ended, right? Or like, I feel like there's a certain amount of fear in just like kind of going through life and just going through the motions and feeling like you're not really charting your own path. I know that like kind of feels cliche, like, oh my God, like, well, God forbid I like, yeah, like God forbid I like do what like the popular crowd is doing, right? And I think there's like, we all kind of just conform to what people are doing around us to some extent, but I think you also kind of have to try to find your niche, you know what I mean? Find something in life that really like feeds you, feeds your soul,
And yes.
you know? And I think it's the prospect of not ever really finding that and kind of just going through life in this like indifferent kind of like gray area is kind of scary.
That's what your mother said yesterday.
You know, it's kind of ambiguous, but anyway, I'm gonna.
Well, that's interesting.
Logan, you
and
wanna
not
add
the
to
direction I
this?
expected this to go, but I guess that's the nut.
You have to do something.
But you don't know what you don't know. That's like the scariest part, you know.
but in the words of Drake, YOLO.
Did you say that?
Were you about to say something?
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
know
the
that.
motto.
I
That's
didn't
the
know that
motto.
was Drake.
Logan, sit
It's
next
the
to
motto.
Jenna for a second.
Oh, it's okay. My fear, the world going to bad.
Yeah.
Bad. Like,
Explain yourself, Logan.
Well, there was the whole
Disaster,
2012 thing where there was supposed to be the end of
dystopia.
the world.
You mean political or?
well, I mean, I guess that's part of it, is it not? But, you know,
Well, in the times we have.
disaster.
Piggybacking off of what Logan just said, I've thought about, like, especially the past year, kind of like seeing the world kind of go through like a very defining moment.
Dark place.
Yeah, like COVID, and then there's obviously a lot of like political tension, turmoil happening all over the world. And I've like actually, like, there have been moments, brief moments, but still moments where I've been like, I don't know if I want to have kids because I have no idea what the world's going to look like when they grow up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put a burden on them to have kids of their own. Like, that's such a weird thing to like think about, but I've literally thought about not having kids because of that.
Then you can take like an optimist approach to it. It's
Yeah.
like you want to have people that you in this world that you think are like doing things.
No,
the right
yeah,
way and stuff.
no, definitely. It's just like,
If we could
but it's
nurture the people that are here,
it's
now
more
to
of
change.
right. It's more of like a, I don't want to burden them with having to clean up the messes that have been created by
Centuries ago.
like the past. But
Yeah, we've been doing that.
but
for
I
a
guess
while,
that's
so.
life. That's life. That's what life is, right?
Yeah,
I guess
mean,
I don't
you could
know.
even go even as far as we've gone with like environmental stuff like recently and like activism and things like that. Because when we were first, when the industrial, I'm not gonna really go down that rabbit hole,
In
but
the industrial age.
when the industrialization started in America, obviously there was no care towards like the environmental impact a lot of the stuff would have, or really the knowledge of it. But since we've started to develop as a society, it's like there's much more of a focus on green energy and stuff like that. So. It is just kind of cyclical, I guess. We discover one thing, it doesn't necessarily, it's not the best for us at first, but then it gets refined, and I
like
guess
crude oil.
politics
it was a big
too.
spill, 19 miles long or wide. It wasn't the news today.
You see when the Gulf of Mexico was straight up like on fire. There was this big blazing like cavernous pit in the middle of the ocean. That was pretty terrifying. Just gonna leave you all with a term. I believe it's entropy. Is that the term I want? Basically, that like the universe tends toward disorder. Like the natural state of the universe is disorder, and basically anything that we ever build ever is kind of running counter to that trend.
You have the definition there?
Well, I have a definition for entropy, which is
Entropy.
which is a thermodynamic quantity representing the unavailability of a system's thermal energy for conversion into a mechanical network, often interpreted as the degree of disorder or randomness in a system.
Yeah, that last
part,
piece.
The end part is what I'm saying.
Well, that was a more specific definition than I was.
That
looking
was
for.
more of a physics definition. Yeah. Let me see. There's. Oh, okay. So then
Can
number
I have
two
the
is lack
life
of.
definition?
Second one is lack of order or predictability,
The
gradual decline
existential
into disorder.
Right.
So yes.
Things are inclined to disordered state. That's why like things just don't start in it. You have to build things. You have to order them. They're not just like inherently. I mean, yeah, there's an inherent like order to things, right, in nature, but there's still kind of like destruction is like an inevitability of life.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why we try so hard to build and preserve.
That's terrifying.
How about all those?
It is terrifying,
I'm
but
in-
like on a very base level, that's just like how life works.
I'm in like a Facebook group.
That's why
for,
it's
like,
so fragile.
I'm in like a Facebook
Anyway.
group for abandoned like things, and like how like nature just kind of takes back things that humans have built. Sorry, this is getting really off topic considering some people are here just to listen to Uncle Tony make them laugh. But
Oh, can we get back to something more cheerful?
yes, what is
You
it?
asked about my favorite more. What was that again about nephews and nieces?
Oh yeah, and how I'm your favorite nephew. I think that's what you were saying
the
earlier.
nicest family member.
Nicest as in nice?
Oh, we just did this.
Okay. Well,
Who is kindest to you consistently?
consistently?
Tony's
Who is
like-
kindest to you
Tony's
consistently
Like,
is what John just said.
Tony's like, well, not John right now. That's for sure.
Well, no, John is always to the point. Whether he critiques me in a harmful way, I just know he means well. So basically, I would have to say, in his own weird way, it would be Philip. Because
No, it wouldn't.
What?
no, I'm joking. It all goes back to the trip to Rome.
Oh, don't.
We
he
can't- we
laughed
did this
so
last
much.
week.
Yes.
You said he was laughing at you when you got pickpocketed.
Yes.
How was that nice to you? He's like, it wasn't nice to me.
I would say the creators of Tony's Talks are very, very nice to me.
Yes, that's me.
They created the inside of my brain coming out into the outer world. My
Yeah.
inner deep thoughts.
I was worried about what that might unleash
Okay,
on the
that's
world.
what I
but
meant to
So
say.
far, so good, I guess.
So it's
You
the
have-
best. I guess this was a prequel to COVID. I don't think I could have survived COVID as much as I did without this family and this show and the support of love from not strangers but distant relatives, which means like grand nephews and nieces, and my Jenna on my right, who's always a full bowl of energy and wisdom and very beautiful, as you can see.
I emphasize that.
I embarrassed you, but
I'm
you know,
blushing.
the women in this videos do add a lot to the.
Women in this.
Yeah, we'll
appeal.
get Darren on a podcast sooner or later.
That's.
he hands the mic to me as for.
Is that a bad word? Trope?
No.
Thank you, Uncle. Yeah.
I do have another one.
Okay.
Well, I have a bunch of stuff, but
Okay.
yeah. This one is, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Superpower.
One superpower, what would your superpower be?
Superpower.
Mm-hmm.
Like physical or mentally. I wanted to be invisible for one day,
Just one day?
so I could see what people really say behind my back.
You wouldn't want it all the time, though?
No,
Is there someone you would just be like, yeah, I'd love to just be able to fly around?
I would like to be a fly on the wall
Okay.
of each family that I have. So
Don't
that
worry
would be
about
my superpower, being invisible for one day.
Okay. Interesting. I think I would like to fly. I like the idea. I also like Frozone from The Incredibles. I like the whole ice thing. I don't think it could be possibly my number one superpower, but I like flying.
Where is my super suit?
Where is my super suit? Yeah, and then she's like, no, I don't remember how this goes. I'm not gonna try it. All right, Jenna, if you could have a superpower, what would it be? Just one superpower, Jenna. John's talking and he doesn't have the mic. Jenna, go ahead.
I've thought about this a lot, and I know exactly what it would be. I just want to be able to move things with my mind because I'm super lazy, so I don't.
No.
If I could
So I just
if
feel
I
that
could
role
just-
right now, but
Yeah, Jeremy's filling in for me right now when I go home from work, and I'm like, can you get me a water? Can you heat up my pizza? Yeah, but I'd wanna move things with my brain and like.
Jeremy's your superpower.
I am her superpower.
Ew, Logan. I guess.
Yeah.
If you really think about it,
And your kryptonite.
But I wish I had a little bit more of artistic ability. But you know, practice makes perfect. So.
Yo, Elastigirl, pull yourself together. Sorry, I don't know why I keep going off like that, but
Superpower, John.
I don't know. I think Elastigirl is just like such a baddie, and I feel like
You can't base your superpower off the
Why? What do you
attractiveness
mean?
of-
What? You said you'd like to fly. Okay, Syndrome.
Whoa.
Oh,
First of all, he makes his own
Frozone.
thing. I call me Superman.
Oh, you can't base what superpower you'd like off of an existing superhero, even though I alluded to two of them in my explanation.
I was saying based off a superhero's
Amazing.
appearance. All right, you know what?
Off
I'm
their
gonna go-
appearance?
I'm gonna run away.
No,
gonna
okay.
head
Well,
out.
no. I think it would be cool to have like, you know, super elasticity because like you could just like maneuver in and out of like.
I can't imagine that. I
Tough
thought that was what you were gonna
situations.
say.
I mean, I feel like super strength is like such a cop out, and even like super speed and like flying definitely
Oh,
a cop
flying's-
out.
Flying's not overrated because it's just cool.
My super power is love. If there was more love in the world, we could all
Something
just
our
be
mother
so
would say.
super.
So melodramatic.
Anyway, shout out Elastigirl. Hashtag Pixar mom.
This coming from a guy who tried to have his superpowers watching the TV show Power Rangers.
Oh my God! We're
And
not doing
both
Power
Jeremy
Rangers
and
again.
John Austin would go at it, make
I
him
don't have-
believe.
I don't have the
And
energy
John
for
would
another-
always say, "Okay, Jeremy, I will always let you win."
I don't have the energy for another episode of Power Rangers right now.
To be fair, I am basing my. This is so random, but I am basing my superpower off of a Sweet Life of Zach and Cody episode when, like, I think they got struck by lightning or something, or something happened, and they had like it was one of those like Disney specials, and I think it was Cody. He had telekinesis, which is moving things with your brain. I think. Oh wait, no, isn't that when you can hear what others are thinking?
Telepathy.
Okay, yeah. So telekinesis, right? That means you can move
Yeah,
stuff.
because kinetic energy.
Yeah,
I feel like that's where
that.
it came from.
So that's what I'm basing mine off
Okay.
of.
That could be your superhero name.
Well, I wasn't expecting.
Telekinesis.
Telekinesis. I like that.
Uncle, did you have something?
No, sounds great to me.
Takes the mic because he needs to say something, and he just sits there with
Give
it.
me that. Give me that.
Um.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. Do you have a story? Do you have any stories? Anything's happened to you in this past week before I get into our segments?
No.
Anything you want to share with the people that's gone through you've had in your week since, or 2 weeks, I guess, since we last recorded a podcast?
Can you repeat that question again?
Is there anything you need to get off your chest?
Chest?
Talking about. Oh, you complicate every question I ask you. I don't know how.
What does that mean?
No,
Oh.
I think I've said it all today.
I think you had a rough week with the coworkers.
Yes. Some of our coworkers no longer are employed by my company.
Did someone do something bad or just
No, they voluntarily resigned.
didn't want to get the jabby jab?
Yes, the jabba jabba.
Okay.
Uncle signed an NDA.
Uncle can't talk about it. All right.
Which, in my part, I'm so happy.
Oh, shoot. Definitely didn't just screw up
so
the audio.
They were not the
table.
nicest people.
All right. Well, we won't get into that too much. I'm going to get into our first segment. This is our first reoccurring segment. I have two new segments. Reoccurring? Recurring segment.
Okay.
It's not.
No, you said reoccurring.
No, I know what I said.
Okay.
Thank you.
it's
First
all right.
recurring segment.
Okay, what's going on?
This, and
What is occurring?
I made you guys aware of this question before, so you could have some time to think about it. This is the overrated, underrated section. We're doing one thing this week, and it's fast food restaurants. Do you have a fast food restaurant, Uncle, that you think is overrated and one that's underrated? I know John has some opinions on this, but we should let Uncle go first. Unless he doesn't know, then you can give it to John.
Overrated is McDonald's.
What?
Never mind. I thought you were gonna say a restaurant and be like, oh, overrated or.
Overrated
Well,
is
yes,
McDonald's.
you give one overrated, one underrated.
No, never mind.
Why do you think McDonald's is overrated?
Because it claims to be one of the oldest fast food chains around, but it's not. It's KFC is older, and so is Burger King.
So because of that one reason, you don't like McDonald's?
No, McDonald's has the monopoly of the most franchisee restaurants in the world. Actually, in America, it's Subway.
Mm-hmm.
With more restaurants than McDonald's.
Really?
Okay, what about
Yes.
how the food tastes?
Food taste underrated?
Well, you can do your underrated if you want. One that you like a lot that a lot of people don't talk about, maybe. Still should be a chain.
Oh, no, you like a lot.
Oh
Arby's.
my goodness! I know
I had
voice crack, I'm
Arby's once
sorry.
on vacation. One place. I forgot what state.
I heard they have the meats.
They have the meats.
Arby's? Is that what you said?
Arby's, yes.
Okay, interesting. But they're not really around here, so
No.
it's hard to.
You think
No.
they're underrated?
Well, if they were, well, I think that because there's none in Rhode Island.
The scarcity effect.
All right, John seems to have some strong opinions on this, so maybe we can hand it off to him now.
I
You're
have
gonna hate what I say.
I have no opinions ever. See, I thought the way this segment was gonna work is like you, moderator, we're gonna like fire off like a list of restaurants, and then we'd be like, oh, overrated, oh, underrated.
No,
oh.
no, no.
That's kind of
I
it's
guess we
kind
could
of
do it that way, but
rated accurately for what it is. I think you guys are gonna hate mine.
well, go ahead.
If we want to talk about the chicken sandwich realm,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say something controversial yet brave.
Ready?
Chick-fil-A overrated.
Yes, John!
Whoa.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Whoa!
Yes!
but that's the
John, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh
Yep.
my God!
I can
That's what I
go
was gonna say.
to and go to Popeyes for
Half the price.
a much better sandwich, cheaper, and feel better about myself.
How do you really? Can't you get mac and cheese there too, though?
Yes.
I don't know about that part of it, but I will say the chicken sandwich is
Chick-fil-A, the A
Not,
stands
so
for.
so
But you didn't say
Popeyes has a better chicken sandwich. Absolutely.
Is eating Chick-fil-A worth
I'm gonna say yes.
No, okay, in my opinion, okay. Okay. Chick-fil-A does not line up with my moral compass, like the company itself.
Okay,
that's why I
that- yeah,
choose
but that's-
Lowe's over Home
You're
Depot.
not talking about the food anymore, though.
No.
Sunday they observe the Sabbath.
No.
Anyway, I just don't.
They are.
Doesn't okay? You can cut this out if you need to, but like Chick-fil-A like hates gay people.
But they tolerate them. I've seen men and men.
If by tolerate
Hugging.
you mean like actively donate to anti-LGBTQ organizations.
Right.
Wow, we're doing this, huh?
Tolerate.
We're doing this.
Okay.
No, but
well,
okay.
I didn't mean to bring political beliefs or
No, that
beliefs in
was all
general
me.
into this,
That
but-
was all me. But that's one of the reasons that I don't really F with or vibe with Chick-fil-A.
It's good censoring yourself. Good job.
You know what? This fake woke activism is really. This fake woke activism is what's ruining our country.
But it's funny though that you mentioned this.
John, give it to him.
It all boils down to Christianity in
Oh,
general,
Jesus.
because America's beliefs changed about 40 years ago when Sundays was open season to school sports, stores open. Prior to that, all stores were closed on Sundays, whether it was Chick-fil-A, Hobby Lobbies, or Jack and Jill's, or Kmart, or Walmart. But then religion got segregated and changed, and they said, what the blank, blank, blank. We want to open liquor stores on Sundays, grocery stores on Sundays, and everything else.
All right, we're closing on the last 5 minutes of this. Jenna, wrap up your thoughts on this segment, and I guess Logan can chime in if he wants to.
No, never mind. I shouldn't say this.
Okay.
I was going to ask Uncle if he agrees that the state and church.
Oh no, we're not doing church and state separation conversation right now. Nope, not doing that.
Okay. I will say I don't disagree with having things closed on Sundays because I think that
It's a great marketing tactic. You know how many people talk about that?
I just think that anybody who works at a job deserves a consistent day off every week. That's just me. But when I lived in Poland for 3 months, everything was closed on Sunday. Like, you could not go grocery shopping, you couldn't do anything. Poland is, super Catholic, but so that's why. But as someone who isn't super religious, I enjoyed it because it was just a day where it was,
Focus on
just for rest, basically, and like you don't have to, do anything if you don't want to.
Do you have an underrated restaurant?
Me?
Yeah.
I actually couldn't think of anything that's underrated just because I think fast food is like, it's rated, like just the way that it's spoken about is, I think everything is appropriately rated. I can't think of something that's
You might agree
underrated.
with this one, Qdoba.
Oh yeah. I guess I wasn't thinking on that end. Yeah, but I think Qdoba, Chipotle technically is better because it has better, fresher ingredients, but Qdoba's queso, so good.
I would say Qdoba's underrated.
You gotta come into this one.
I don't know if Burger King is overrated or if people actively just trash on Burger King. I think Burger King is garbage. I don't think anyone who goes to Burger King is a trash human being.
Why work for a clown when you can work for the king?
There's so many. If you're gonna do that to yourself, do it to yourself and at least enjoy it. Like go to McDonald's and go to Wendy's.
Okay, but Burger King is the only place at the moment that has an Impossible Burger.
I guess they are the only place with Impossible.
It is impossible to argue with that. Thank you, Jenna.
Circa 1975, you couldn't.
Put that mic in front of him.
Circa 1975, before Wendy's and In-N-Out and everything else was created, Burger King had a waiting line out the door because their meat was fresher, better quality.
The king's falling off his throne, if you ask me.
The tomatoes looked like tomatoes, and the lettuce looked like what lettuce is supposed to look like, and the pickles were not in a 20-pound container.
Don't address it.
We don't talk about it.
Come on, Logan.
We don't talk
you
about
gotta
Fight
go
Club.
here, Logan.
So this is my next segment. It is a contradictory question, or a controversial question, it should be called. And my question to you, Uncle, we can talk about this briefly. We don't have a ton of time left. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Depends. I would
On
say
what?
yes.
You can never say yes or no.
Why would you say yes?
Because of the length and the shape does not necessarily make it an unsandwich. Seriously, folks.
So because it's in bread, it's meat in a bread.
Yes.
You think it counts as a sandwich?
Yes. Just like a sausage sandwich? Yes.
All right, John, do you have thoughts on this? Yeah.
Is a hot dog a taco?
Is a taco real?
That's deep. I guess a taco could be a sandwich.
I really don't know where I fall on this because, I mean,
Five Guys sells hot dogs.
I just don't know where I land. We need more mics.
So perhaps the most. So if you want to put a hot dog next to a hamburger, for instance, hamburger definitely more of a sandwich, and I say that because you think about a hot dog. It's one continuous bun, one continuous vessel that encapsulates the filling, right? In the same way that like a taco shell does. So you could make the argument that a hot dog is more of a taco than it is a sandwich, and a sandwich has to have like a base bread element and like a top as like the vehicle.
But wait, now I'm a little. I'm about to open a whole new can of worms now because, like, do you think a burger is a sandwich? Because think about it. When you're looking at a menu, what does it say? Sandwiches and burgers. It never says sandwiches and then a burger listed there.
Logan's like, I've had enough of this.
There's a distinct difference. So.
Now we're just being pedantic.
It's because there are a lot more burgers than sandwiches, I feel like. It's just like burgers are just a really popular kind of sandwich, which means that it warrants its own place on the menu. Like, I don't think that has anything to do with whether it's a sandwich or not. You know what I mean?
That's one outtake on it. That's pretty good.
Got anything for that?
It's always distinguished on the menu as something else. That's like the whole taco thing. I just think is absolutely.
Yeah, John really took this
asinine.
conversation to the next level with the whole taco.
I don't
thing.
think a hot dog's a taco.
No, John.
I know
John,
you're
wrap
gonna
this up
argue. I know
before-
you could argue it.
I
I know you could argue
no.
it.
Episode.
I have a viewer question.
My counter argument to that argument would be like, if you can put scrambled eggs inside a pancake and call it a breakfast taco, then you can call a hot dog a taco.
Have you had that?
I've witnessed people have it.
Okay.
Like, you're going to try to pass off eggs in a pancake as a taco.
Chickens in a blanket?
I don't know. Maybe you put a little chipotle aioli on there, a little bit of sriracha, a little pico, little Frank's.
All right, I think we know where everyone stands on this, but there's no clear winner, I don't think.
Is water wet?
Oh, yeah, that's a question for another. We'll continue to. No, we're not asking. You can line it up for next week. So, final question here. John, we have a viewer question. So, the mic's with Uncle, right? Okay. It's a viewer question from my buddy Eric. All right, Uncle?
Okay.
Have you ever gone fishing? And if so, what is your best fishing story?
I have gone fishing many years ago in the Azores.
In the Azores, how's that?
Yes. Well, it was old-fashioned. It was like we call it in Portuguese a canice, which is like a rod with a string tied to it. It's nothing like with a crank. You just pull it out after when you feel the fish biting, and then it flips backwards toward you. 1973, around there.
And have you been in the States fishing?
I've been with people fishing, but I think it's a very boring sport.
You catch any fish at all?
No, because I like to eat fish. I just don't like to catch fish.
And the Portuguese market, you see them with their heads still on them, right?
Yes, which is a delicacy in the Portuguese
You eat the eyeballs?
community. My family does.
You've never eaten a fish eyeball?
No.
What have you eaten? What's the grossest part of a fish that you've had?
The grossest part.
Have you?
Oh.
They don't do like anything else?
Well, fish soup is gross because
They throw the head in there?
they throw the head in there. It's just the thought of the fish head inside. That's it. That is the grossest thing. A fish head in a soup, I think.
Okay.
Every time Uncle pauses for 2 seconds, Jeremy's like, the fish? The grossest part of the fish? The fish head, the fish soup?
Can you tell she's my girlfriend? Jeez.
It's all about love. So what do I say?
All right. Well, that's pretty much it. We've covered the fishing thing. We've gotten all the segments down. Yeah, I think that's good for this episode. So why don't you wrap it up and
Thanks for watching Podcast 3. See you in 2 weeks.
all right, see you guys later.